That's meteorologist Mike
Yes.
Prangley. Our paths don't cross that much. With me being in the evening, him being in the morning. It's good to see you, Mike. How you doing, man?
Good to see you. It's always a treat being with you, and we are going to just have a good time here. We've got the very latest updates on the weather. First, we'll start locally, but today we're talking about some amazing video from over the weekend, some of that storm damage we had, exactly what happened. Was it a tornado? We're talking about flooding rain, of course, and today's a big day in the tropics as far as historical storms.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll take a look at a couple of those, of course, the latest on the tropics, and we're taking your questions. So go to 10 Tampa Bay. We're on Facebook Live. You can send us questions there on YouTube. And of course, we're going to have more information on that. And you can also text us some questions. So that's all the interactivity we love here, Bobby. So the more questions, the better. And we start tonight, though, here off Gandy. We've got some thunder, so we still have some issues for folks driving home. What are you seeing out there right now, Bobby?
Yeah, cloudy skies, gray weather, gray skies, and lots of rain out there. Put my jacket on. Mike making me look bad. Get the jacket on, the bow tie. But guys, here we are again. Can you believe? I mean, not necessarily a washout for the weekend, but if you had plans the first half of the day, even through the second half in some areas, it was. And we continue that trend again today. It's this westerly flow that we're getting coming in off the Gulf. This happens sometimes in the wintertime, but we don't have as much warm water out there. You get more warm water, you get more moisture developing and giving us those afternoon showers and storms, okay? And so that's what's been happening, but it also comes up in the morning hours. So we're going to continue to see that happening. So that's a live look outside right now. Thank goodness it's kept temperatures down. That's the good side about all of this, but there's the radar. Now, you're, what, 4:32 right now? You're expecting somebody home. Evening commute's going to be a slower one because of all of this, all right? We've got pretty decent rain right now. Pinellas, Hillsborough County, so US 19, north and south, or just about all of Pinellas County. There's a little break right there in the middle, but that's going to fill in Pinellas Park and Largo. I'm talking to you. Heavier rain now crossing the bay. We'll get over towards US 301 and 42. We're talking over in eastern Hillsborough County, so Apollo Beach, Ruskin area, Palmetto eventually. Here comes, well, Palmetto's already seeing it, Parrish as well. And then all of this still west to east. It's still that same deal that we've been dealing with. Now, we have not seen as much rain for Manatee and Sarasota County, but today we're changing that all up, especially Manatee County. You can see right now, although that does include Sarasota, but these are lines of showers and storms that continue training over the same areas. So I really, and in fact, if you look further out to the west, it does thin out a little bit for Manatee County, but Sarasota County, we may be looking at a flooding issue coming in here through Sarasota down to Vamo, but certainly Lakewood Ranch, the regular normal area, southern end of Longboat Key. We're going to get a ton of rainfall here, probably 2 to 3 inches in the next couple of hours with this line that's coming through. I don't expect much of this to fall apart before it gets out of here, okay? Gradually this evening, the rainfall will start to thin out a little bit. In the locations, you've kind of seen that. Look what's left over. This is actually a little bit of some of the light, moderate rainfall from some storms that we saw earlier today. Some pretty good ones. But that's Avon Park out towards the proving grounds out there towards the firing grounds, you know. And then you get down to Lake Placid and up in the Sebring. It's not as much, but Lake Placid has a few showers. Lakeland, light rain. The problem with that is, you know, we've got I-4. Plant City, Lakeland, up to Winter Haven, Haines City. There you go. You can see I-4 from Plant City all the way to Lakeland. Polk City is wet at this time. So anybody you're expecting coming up and down that road right now, obviously it's going to be a little bit slower, and there still is some more rain coming on the backside of that. Now, the big picture shows pretty much what we've been dealing with, except look at the top. Up when you look at the northern part of the state now, they've been seeing just as much rainfall as we have, but Crystal River's been soaked. Citrus County, Levy County, you get further up into the Big Bend, and they've been seeing a ton of rainfall over the weekend. It was almost steady for hours and hours for Citrus County and Levy County. Now, look how spotty it's gotten. Jacksonville's dried out a little bit as well. You can see, well, compared to what they've seen, they do have some showers and storms here. But that is the beginning of some drier air that is pushing in across the southeast, well, the eastern half of the United States for that matter. Big time cool down. Mike's going to be talking a little bit more about that. Dry air. Does it get to Florida, or central Florida at least, the Tampa Bay area? Maybe a little tiny piece, not a lot. The models always say, the GFS always says, oh, we're going to get it. This is that tease, okay? This usually happens in September. Everybody, you know, I think tomorrow my daughter said that they start with the pumpkin spice, right, at the coffee shop. So right on time, Mother Nature's sending that cool fall air for the eastern half of the United States. It will not get down here. Unfortunately, it won't. That's the reason why. There's the frontal boundary. We still have that westerly wind. It's just really hard to push it through here. But I do think what happens is there's a difference between the dry air down where we are, that lower humidity, or what we would call lower dew points, and the drier air aloft. It's a little bit easier for that drier air to move in above us. And so what that will do, and what it's already done, look right here in North Florida. The rain has really dried up. I mean, there's still a few showers, but it's nothing like what we've seen. You can see this westerly flow continues out ahead of this front. This front will stall. Right now, it's shown as just a front, right? Which means it's actually sinking southward a little bit, but they're actually going to redraw this soon and it'll be stalled. If you look back out to the west, we've got a low pressure developing, and lows go like this. So they're going to start pushing this front backwards, pushing it back off to the north and to the northeast. So that's one of the reasons why it's not going to push this far to the south. I do think some dry air gets in here. So what we've seen over the last, well, Friday we had it, but Saturday, Sunday, and today, I think we get another shot of it tomorrow morning. But then watch what happens. This is tomorrow afternoon or evening right around 10 o'clock. It's subtle, guys. I know it doesn't look like much, but look at the difference here. This is where we have been in all of that dark green. That's a bunch of moisture, and that's what that number is a measurement of the moisture from the ground all the way up, okay? Anything over 2 inches, that's getting up there. That means we can get some heavier rain like we've seen. This is different. Now notice, I-4 is right there, still kind of in the soup. Northern Pasco, Hernando, Citrus, all the way up. Look how much drier air, and in fact, go further up to the north, and look what you get there. That's the real core of all of that dry air. That's where it's going to be incredible over the next several days. So, Mike, it's almost worth driving.
Yeah, I'm ready to drive up there and just get outside and camp out. I'm ready for a little bit of camping. If I can get some 60s after our hot summer here in Tampa, I would take it. But if there's an area that could see at least a little bit of a cool down, and we're talking about a hint of fall, we're talking about a little sip, maybe a little bit of icing on the iced latte here. It's not a huge deal because, as Bobby said, these fronts have a very tough time moving this far south this time of year. So it's not going to have that push that it normally has. We got to wait for the big cool air masses in Canada to build with the shorter days, which are happening. They're losing like 5-6 minutes of daylight right now at the Arctic Circle. That'll eventually allow colder air to build and give those fronts a little more punch. But for now, our iced latte is melting. We just have a very little taste of fall for the Nature Coast. So I went 68. Now you have to go up to Beverly Hills and Inverness maybe to see that. Okay, so out in the country, out by the cows, out in the open
rolling
country,
hills,
in the rolling beautiful hills. So we'll give it 85 by noon, 90 still for your high. And as we look around the area where you live, we are talking about county by county. If there's the area to watch, it would still be north of Tampa because that's where the front is coming from here. And as we go to Weather 2, I did a little county by county pull out if we want to do that. And Weather 2 should show the county by county. Here we go. There's beautiful Hernando, Citrus County, Crystal River, and well, it's showing some of the storms. These are the areas that could see some of the colder temperatures. In fact, if you look at the dew points, this is what excited me, Bobby. We're talking about some relief in the way of dew points, so that's how it feels. So I'm thinking mid-60s to near 70.
Let's see.
That would be a change.
Let's go to Weather 1. Let's take a look at what the GFS model says. And this is why, we talk about GFS-icanes, right? Those hurricanes that are run out in days 12, 13, 14 of the model, and everybody puts them all over the internet, making it look like a hurricane's coming. The GFS kind of does something like that when it comes to these fronts. Okay. So I don't really trust it this time of year because of the fronts. Like, it thinks it gets here. Look, a dew point of 60 in August would be amazing. That would be amazing. That's the GFS model, right? Down in the low to mid 60s, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I want to be Team GFS.
Let's look at the Euro. And the Euro is probably right. And unfortunately, I think more of the drier, I think we do get some. It'll mix down a little bit, but more of it will be up above us than will be down here on the surface.
Agreed.
And so
Mike, county by county, here's the reality of the thing. Yep, we got 68 to the north. That's up toward Inverness. And as we go to Pinellas and Hillsborough County, there we go again. We're talking about temperatures more like the mid-70s in this type of pattern. So it's going to get here. hang in there.
November's coming.
November is almost here. Even in October, though, we do start to get at least some cold fronts in Tampa by late October. So we'll have more on at least a little bit of relief from the heat, a little bit, but much more on what happened over the weekend and what we can look forward to the next couple of days. And, of course, the latest on the tropics and your questions. I can't wait to hear them coming up.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
These big trucks are dangerous and fast. And when it comes to big truck wrecks, the stakes can be really high. That's why you need a lawyer that's gotten big results for his clients. Hi, I'm attorney Dan Newland. I've recovered billions of dollars for accident victims. So if you've been hit by one of these big trucks or involved in a car accident, call me now. Let me fight for you. At 813-888-8000. That's 813-888-8000.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Secure outdoor equipment and generators. Clear debris from around your AC unit and schedule a pre-storm HVAC and electrical inspection.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30 right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
Right, yes, we're great to be here with you here on 10 Tampa Bay Plus, and we start now. And Bobby, we've been asking for some questions from the viewers.
Yes.
You and I were getting excited about those dew points, that first front, and there will be parts of Florida that will be seeing their coolest temperatures since late May and early June. So we got Parise, our producer, calling up a question. Oh, we got Christy in Wesley Chapel. I believe that's Forrest's mom. I know, Christy. Hey, thanks, Christy, for writing in. She said, will Tampa Bay get a taste of fall this week? Yep, see, she's been watching closely. She's like our weather watcher, and she's from Minnesota. So Minnesotans really love their weather up there. And she wants to know, I think she's missing some of the cooler weather. It's a little hot for Christy outside with these dew points that we've had lately. But again, what Bobby was talking about in our weather team, how far south will this front get? Well, the big breaking news here over the last hour, the front has actually made it into Florida, but you got to go way out toward Pensacola and the Panhandle. See this? It kind of snakes up into southeast Georgia, and look how far it gets. It's going to try to push. Here's Monday. We're going through this evening, and then just kind of slows down and kind of stalls. You see how it just stalled right there as we head toward 3 o'clock tomorrow. So again, the biggest chance for those 60s would be across the I-10 corridor, Pensacola, over to Lake City. And sure enough, tonight, with that front entering northwest Florida toward the Panhandle, we will see some of the first 60s since the first week of June. So I guess, Bobby, we're talking about making a road trip, you think, for that?
Yeah, I mean, Gainesville.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll notice the
Gainesville, I go
difference in
visit my
Gainesville,
daughter.
right?
Yeah. And now tomorrow, check this out. So for Wednesday's lows, that front makes a little more headway to the south. We showed the water vapor. Remember those lighter colors we showed? We showed a little bit of dry air that could mix to the surface. So we got lows of 68 Jacksonville, 70 in Gainesville. And yeah, in Alachua County, there'll be a couple in the park areas, maybe some upper 60s. But Tampa, notice once again, we've got all this warm water surrounding us. So that's another factor, not just the front slowing down. And we know those water temperatures are almost like bath water this time of year. So that, again, adds heat to the atmosphere, and we're probably going to be more in the mid to upper 70s here. Over the weekend, now, we're talking about dew points and front stalling over South Georgia this weekend. That same front has brought some wild weather to us. Like, it's taken the rain to the next level. In fact, Parisa, we actually had some storm damage across the area yesterday in Manatee County. Let's take a look at that if we can. And that's why our weather team started issuing that weather impact alert well ahead of time. We issued that alert on Friday for the whole weekend for our area. And yeah, we weren't talking about that. That was not us. Okay, that's
storm damage from Palmetto area. area
Palmetto.
is
So
what
we
you
got
can
the
see
storm
here on that
damage
radar. Yeah.
So what we showed this weekend, we were on streaming live on 10 Tampa Bay, giving updates to folks saying, yeah, even though we've had reports of a lot of damage, likely not a tornado. We haven't confirmed a tornado, but there was a lot of rotation and a lot of wind that came through with this very powerful thunderstorm. So as our weather team always says, you've got to watch those storms that head offshore and then move onshore. And as they hit the land, you've got a little bit more of coastal convergence, little friction. You can get a little bit of a twist and turn, and it doesn't take much a lot of times to elevate it to some damaging winds and sometimes water spouts and isolated tornadoes. But we didn't confirm anything like that. But if you look at the damage, Bobby, I mean, this is a mobile home park, okay, in the Palmetto area, and you can see a lot of the carports were actually blown apart, and some of the rooftops lifted off.
Mike, do we know if this had rotation? Was this straight line winds? What do we know anything from the Weather Service yet?
We have not. They have not followed up on that yet, so we will keep in touch and see if they actually got some eyes on it out there. I would have loved to have been out there to see if we had, you know, what was the damage? Was it lined up in one direction? Was it a starburst pattern? So yeah, getting eyes out there to see how that damage lined up. But we did confirm, though, we had the emergency management. They do a fine job in Manatee County. They did confirm 40 to 50 mile per hour winds, but that's pretty significant damage, especially when you have carports blown into other carports and homes and that roof damage. But we were here at 10 Tampa Bay. That's why we're here. When we get storms, we were going to watch it closely. So you saw a little bit of winds blowing in two different directions toward Palmetto, Highway 301, and then across I-75 off to the northeast. And as you take a look toward Parrish and Willow before it started to weaken. So another day where we always keep our guard up. Our biggest things for the weather impact was the flooding, lightning, but always when you get these Gulf storms, you got to keep your guard up for some of that damaging wind out there. So as we go into this forecast here tonight, still seeing a few gully washers and heavy showers out there, but we're not expecting any severe weather at this point. But again, watching a couple of those low-lying areas, maybe some lowland flooding once again, a lot of ponding of water on the roadway. So if you have loved ones, you know, we're trying to get back in that back to work and school routine together, right? We've got soccer games out there. Just be careful getting the kids to practice. I think the rain will lighten up, but again, it won't take much for a little bit of flooding. We've had anywhere from 3 to as much as 9 inches near Bradenton over the weekend, 5.4 inches up toward Palm Harbor, East Lake up over 3 inches, and Polk County to 4 inches. So the good news is we have that front, even though we're not going to get the nice cool down here for the most part, for most of us, at least we'll start to see a transition into a drier period by Wednesday.
I mean, Mike, those numbers, that 3 to 6, maybe 4 to 7 with some of those 9-inch numbers on average.
Right.
That's what we would expect for a tropical system. If we had a weak tropical system heading our way, we would expect numbers like that. We're not done with it. We actually have some rain out there now, which we've been showing you, but this is Futurecast. This is our forecast model. We're going to show you hour by hour starting tonight. And yes, tomorrow I think we have more rain, at least for the first half of the day, then getting drier, and then that drier air that Mike was talking about will start to fill in. I'll show you that coming up on our forecast model in just a few minutes. In fact, we'll do it right after the break, and we still have to talk tropics. But fortunately, Mike, we don't have a lot to talk about at this particular time, so that's good. We'll do that right after the break, guys.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newland. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Weather impacts your life every day. I'm 10 Tampa Bay Chief Meteorologist Bobby Deskins. You can find out about any change in the weather with our 10 Tampa Bay Plus app. Just stream for the latest forecast, any weather impact alert, updated tropics forecast, and take a live look at the radar. Anytime you want, and it's free. It's just one more way we're helping you stay informed, prepared, and connected. Stream 10 Tampa Bay Plus.
And it's like a movie script. It's family rivalry, betrayal, and murder.
They cover America's most fascinating true crime stories.
One way or another, that's an execution.
Absolutely.
Every case.
Who would want to hurt him?
Every clue.
This is dynamite for an investigator.
Every mystery that keeps you guessing until the very end.
Does everyone's jaws drop?
Dateline, 5 times a week.
Watch weekdays at 4 on 10 Tampa Bay.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. Unique quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
All right, guys, 4:50. Welcome back. Let's talk Futurecast. So this is hour by hour. We're going to go out through this evening, and you see we'll take it out through about 7:30, 8 o'clock or so. As usual, and I can say that now because we've been doing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but as usual, the rain will start to taper off, go to a more of a light to moderate rainfall, and then just a real light rain, and then it falls off. Now, overnight tonight, very small rain chance, but there's a small chance there. That is 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. We are once again going to have a weather impact alert from 5 a.m. through about 1, we're thinking, tomorrow afternoon to cover for the rain. And here we go. Here's 5 a.m. Look at that. That's 7 a.m. That's the bus stop. That's heading to work. That is another soggy morning. Look at Hernando and Citrus County, right? See the difference? We've been soaked here. That is going to be drier. You notice we will still have a rain chance there. This is around 9 o'clock in the morning. But then notice as we also get towards around 1 o'clock, there's the clock right there, right? We're starting to dry things out at least a little bit. And then by the time we get towards 7 p.m., the rain is now south of I-4. We've got some drier air. Look at the winds. You see these winds coming in out of the north and the west? That's different. All right, that's a little bit of that front trying to kind of sneak down here. I don't think a lot of it gets here, but look at that by Wednesday morning, complete different. That's Wednesday afternoon, a whole lot drier. Great news there. So it does look like we are going to start to dry things out just a little bit. Here's that look at the forecast rain chances here. You can see the coverage for Wednesday really going away. Thursday starts to back up. Friday, Saturday, we have more easterly winds, and we're dealing with that there. All right, let's talk tropics, and I think I just loaded the wrong one. We don't actually have a lot to look at, so let me show you this one. The only thing we're looking at is Farallon right now, and that's moving out, okay? Great news there. Here's a look at the satellite now. We are watching this area down in here, and we were watching this one, and there's Farallon going out. This was the main one that we were watching. There's kind of the visible satellite of it. There's just not much to it. And in fact, the Hurricane Center now says 0. They don't even have us watching it. The forecast models, well, last week we're having it fall apart right where it is now, right where it fell apart. Some models still looking at it. They say it comes off to the west. Remember, Mike, the weaker it is, the wester it goes. And so that would make sense that it goes right into Central America.
Yeah, so we're thankful, very quiet in the tropics here, and it's a big anniversary of 2 hurricanes that rewrote the record books, basically. So we had Katrina hit on this day in South Florida with 80-mile-per-hour winds. It was a Category 1 when it hit Florida. Most people don't realize it. It was on August 25th here, 2005. Can you believe that's
2005?
Unbelievable. And then, of course, it went to a Cat 5 and then a Cat 3 before slamming in.